Hello. Okay, I'm just gonna get situated. We're a little yellow. That's okay. Necklace is just a little off kilter. Okay, let me grab the keyboard. Okay, today we're doing a Q&A. I'm gonna wait for a couple people to come on. Please let me know if you can hear me, and that will be awesome. That will be wonderful. I feel like this is also just a little bit crooked. That more straight. Oh, I was gonna put a scrunchie on. I'm so ready for the week to be over. Yay. Okay, you can hear me. Yes. Okay. How is everybody doing? We got some people showing up. So I'm here to answer any questions you guys have. Maybe chit chat a little bit about God knows what. And yeah, Gus will be probably walking through the door, which is back there. So if you see him, we'll just ignore it and keep moving. But yeah, I just want to jump on here and do Q&A because I've been getting a lot of Seattle-based questions. And I just figured this would be a great time to just jump on here. So let me just post right now. We're live on my Instagram, so people can come over here and be part of the live. Hello, everybody. I'm doing so good, Chantel. Thank you. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Sometimes I don't know because I don't really have my audio figured out quite yet for my computer because it's something I just haven't gotten around to. So, yes. Anyways, how is everybody doing? It's Thursday, almost Friday. Thank God. I'm so excited for the weekend. I believe we have the Women's March this weekend. Also, last time, somebody asked me a question, and I think they were asking about the viaduct, but they called it Squeeze because that's the name of it. And I totally thought that they were talking about the Seattle Freeze because I hadn't even paid any attention to the Seattle viaduct situation at all. So I'm sorry. I look like a damn fool in that last live. Yeah, I remember hearing about it and being like, oh, that's what that person was talking about. It's totally not on my radar, like the viaduct, the whole bridge thing. That was something I never really crossed for like traffic or, you know, work and stuff. I never really went on that bridge, only when I needed to go more north. So that was not on my radar at all. And I just was thinking about it because it's such a huge thing now that it's like underway and people are like in traffic. So yeah, I just wanted to address that because I felt like very stupid when I realized what it was. What do you think of the Alaska Highway Freeway in Seattle being closed forever? Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Is that the viaduct? That's not the viaduct, is it? I don't know much about that. What do you think is the hardest thing about Seattle? The hardest thing about Seattle, and this is probably like the shittiest answer, like to me, the hardest thing is the people. And that could totally just be a me getting out of college, not knowing really how to make friends type of deal. But I find that the people here are really hard to get to know and to feel accustomed to. And I've had so many conversations with people I went on dates with or people I just have friend dates with and go out and meet them. And like subscribers and stuff, I chat with them about why, because I feel like a lot of us are on the same page that Seattle is sometimes a really hard place to make friends. So I feel like the people are sometimes really difficult. And I'm still trying to figure out why that is. I don't know if it's because we're all most of us, not all, but a lot of us are transplants and we don't exactly know how to coexist with one another. And then the weather kind of brings us down and then the city is built on grunge. Like, I'm not quite sure what it is. But I know that I'm feeling it and I know that it is like, it's a thing that I'm not only like feeling by myself. So yeah, I think that the people can be sometimes really, really tricky. That was like very long answer. Hello. It is the viaduct. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I wasn't attached to it as a lot of other people were. So I don't feel really in any sort of way. It was honestly like just a highway, a freeway that I rarely went on. So yeah, I thought it looked very cluttered. I thought I'd make the city look worse. But you know, I still feel like it's causing a lot of damage too, and like it's very close to specific buildings, and then we're doing underground, and I feel like we shouldn't even be touching Seattle soil a little bit because of earthquakes and stuff. So I have a lot of opinions about it, but um, I don't have a lot of like memories with it. So okay, we have some more people. Are you poly? I heard you say dates, but I thought you had a boyfriend. Just curious. I don't have anybody in my life. Okay, I have Gus. I'm not dating right now, but I'm not poly. I do like the boys. But I have a lot of poly friends, and I know a lot of poly people, and I think it's awesome. It's great. It's just not really my thing. But no, I'm not poly. Do you ever go to Safeco Field now that it's called T-Mobile Park? I do not. I was gonna check it out when they did the Winter Wonderland thing, but I just didn't get around to it, so I never really I'm never really there. Franklin, hey, what are you doing? Frank, you can come hang out with me, bud. Come hang out. He was about to get on that TV, you guys. Do you think you'll ever move out of Seattle? Yeah, definitely. I definitely think I'll move out here. I don't know if this is a place that I will be forever. I have most of my family is like in the Midwest, so it would be hard to say that I'm going to stay here forever when I have so many like relatives and loved ones back where I grew up. Okay, I'm like losing track. Let me go back up. Okay. I'm in cosmetology school and thinking of moving to Seattle once I graduate. Are cosmetics big in Seattle, like in LA, or are people more natural with their looks and hair? This is such a good question. I get it literally all the time. Cosmetics and like hair and anything along that realm is huge over here. I feel like I started off, my first job when I got here was working at MAC Cosmetics, which is like probably not where you're headed. But it's huge. And I went to makeup school and everything when I did MAC just for a short period of time. And it's absolutely huge here. I find that the makeup industry isn't as large per se as like the hair industry. I think hair and like hair design and artistry is huge over here. I think people make millions of dollars doing it. And we have some amazing, amazing hair artists here. And I find that they take it very seriously. Like they have amazing social media pages. They totally, and they're so good. They're so good at what they do, and they really take it seriously, and it's something that they love. So I feel like hair is really huge here. I don't see makeup as much, but makeup also is a very like saturated field. I mean, so is hair, so is a lot of things, but like because of like YouTube and like the beauty community, I don't see makeup happening as much, like freelance makeup. I don't see it happening as much as hair, but that's just my opinion. I'm not really into that world, but when I was, hair was always a huge thing. And then like working at MAC and then also having like your own makeup business was like a pretty big thing too. What's your favorite place to eat out at in Seattle? My favorite place is Cactus. They have one in South Lake Union, and then they also have one in Madison Park area, along with Bellevue. Bellevue's not necessarily Seattle, but so close. So Cactus is a Mexican restaurant. I love Cactus. I love Cafe Flora. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I love Cafe Flora. I think it's so good. It's like a vegetarian cuisine breakfast, brunch, and then some dinner options. It's really yummy. It's very like organic and like just too bougie and like unnecessary, but it's really good. What's the first thing someone who's moved to Seattle should do? Places to visit, restaurants, etc. Okay, this is gonna sound super cliche, but I think you have to visit the Space Needle, because if you don't visit the Space Needle when you come here, people are just going to ask you. Like, I feel like anytime I have a friend here, they always say, oh, I don't really want to do the Space Needle, but everyone's going to ask me. And that totally happened to me too. Like, people know Seattle for the Space Needle. So the first thing they're going to ask you is, oh, like, how is the Space Needle? And I will say this, it's a little expensive, but it's really, really cool. It's so much cooler than when I first went on it. When I first went on the Space Needle, it was just like, kind of old school and not that exciting, but now it has like the glass floor and like the glass bench where you lean back and you literally look like you're falling, things like that. It's just like an experience. It's fun. And they just put like a wine bar up there and like they have food. So it's like a pretty fun thing. And yeah, I would check out the Space Needle. Other things to do, the gum wall is disgusting, but people think it's cool. Pike Place is like a huge attraction. It's just, there's a lot of people there all the time. What else? There's a couple tours you can do, like the underground tour is really fun. There's an Argosy like boat tour that's also really fun. What else? The Mopop is really cool and different. I always feel like there's some things I haven't done, like the Columbia Tower, I hear is amazing. I hear it's the best lookout. And there's also a lot of really cool speakeasy bars that I feel like people don't always know. So if you're looking for like a cool bar, I would definitely suggest checking out like a speakeasy, just because they're fun, they're different. I have a piece of hair on my lip, I can feel it. They're fun, they're different, and like they're kind of like a vibe, you know? Just a few things. Okay, let me scroll up. What's the first thing okay, I just read that and I'm screaming again. Okay, my brother is on a road trip to Seattle. Oh my gosh, cool. That's exciting. See, road trips are really fun. It's fun. It was fun for Gus and I. Hey, Wes. I'm so glad I'm not in Wisconsin. I don't like the snow. Is South Lake Union a cool place to live? South Lake Union is dope. South Lake Union is where like all the Amazonians live. Almost anybody, like most of them live in South Lake Union. The Spheres, Cactus, all these great places are in South Lake Union. It's a very bougie place, very expensive, but like it's really cool. And like honestly, if I was gonna live downtown, that's where I'd want to live. South Lake Union is so cool. I love it. It's such a good vibe. What inspired you to create? What movies, music, and animation? What a great question, Robert. A lot of things. I've always been kind of very creative. I went to school for film and editing. And I grew up kind of like on Stanley Kubrick films, so I'm huge into him. But like more currently, like my favorite movie is Call Me By Your Name. I love that movie. I think it's basically a perfect movie. I've read the book as well, and the movie just is so incredible, from like sound design to shots to acting. It's so good. Music-wise, oh gosh, there's so much music that I could talk about. The Killers, Atmosphere, Lizzo, Bon Iver. I feel like I went to school very close where Bon Iver lives. I've had a tattoo done by his artist, and like he's just like always going to be home. So Bon Iver is like a huge inspiration in everything that I do or try to do. Yeah, things like that. Animations. Oh man, there's a lot of short animations. Gus made a really good animation when we were in college. I should post that somewhere. It's such a good animation. But he's a really, really good storyteller. And like back here, I think I answered this in the last question or in the last Q&A. We have like the storytelling 1 through 22 storytelling pieces from Pixar, which are really cool. And that's always like very inspiring. So yeah, we try to kind of just, you know, do different things. And we were a big lover of the arts. Even though sometimes I feel like I don't create things that are super beautiful, but I wish I want to create more things that are pretty, because that's what I like to watch. I like to watch really pretty things, but also like relatable things. So hoping to create more things like that this year, besides just like Q&As. Although I love doing Q&As because it's like I get to chat with you guys one-on-one. Sometimes it's just like so refreshing, and it means so much when you create like a piece of art that you're really proud of. Okay, that was a ramble. Oh, thank you, Alex. You're so sweet. I will let Gus know. I'm surprised you know where Gus is right now? He is like doing a psycho class somewhere. He's getting that beach bod. He's really working at it. And going through a breakup, any advice? First of all, I'm so sorry that you're going through a breakup. I actually made a video on tips on how to get over an ex or how to get over heartbreak, because it is something that I dealt with for many, many years. And sometimes I still think I'm dealing with it. So I will link that video below when this live is over. I feel like I give the best advice I can give anybody, just from my personal opinion, because it's advice I wish that I would have had when I was going through a breakup. Don't listen to sad music. That's for sure one of the tips. Listen to happy music. That kid is up to no good in the background. I know. Where is he? Oh, he's so mad. Frankie? He hates when I do lives. He hates when I don't give him attention, especially like I was at work, so we played for a little bit, but now he's like, show me love. Okay, Brandy, I'm going to visit Seattle in May. My fiance is taking me for a college graduation present. What an amazing present. And I'm honestly so excited. What is hands down the one thing I need to do while I'm there? Oh, wow. I just answered this in a above question, but it's one thing you should do when you're here. Trying to think of things you can do like that you can't really do anywhere else. I would definitely check out the Space Needle. I know that's cliche. If you can, I would try to go on like a beautiful, beautiful hike, even though it might be a little further out. Diablo Lake is really beautiful and like very Instagram appropriate, but it is kind of far. You don't have a lot of service, but it's amazing. What else? I would check out the gum wall just because it's iconic, right? That's cool. We do a lot of drag shows. A drag show would be really fun. Go to a gay bar. We have some great gay bars here. What else? Speakeasy bars are fun. Numos is kind of cool if you have like the time to go to like a show or something. Yeah, I would do something along those lines. Or you could always get a tattoo, just totally be risky like that. Where is the best smoothie in Seattle? I don't know the answer to that. Here's the thing. It's only really warm in the summer, and in the winter, I try not to drink too many smoothies, which is stupid because they're really good for you. So I don't drink that many. And when I do drink something like that, I always try to drink juice. I'm like stupid with the juice thing. So I love juice. You could check out, trying to think of smoothies. I just thought of somewhere and then it blanked. I think Dick's does malts. That might have been the worst recommendation, but Dick's is a cool place to check out too, just because it's like, you know, specific to Seattle. They have like burgers and shakes and they're like a walk-up type of place. So check out Dick's. But I really like Cafe Flora. They have really good juice. I usually go to Juice and Glow in Bellevue, which is really yummy. And they also have really good smoothies, but that's in Bellevue, which it's not too far. It's like 15 minutes from Seattle. But that's a good question, and I'm really sorry. I feel like I don't know the answer to that because it's not that warm here all the time, only in the summer. I'm going to make that my mission this summer, though, to find like a really, really good smoothie place. It's a great, great idea. Hello. I feel like my contacts are getting like blurry. Okay. Where did I leave off? Hello, Katie. Has anybody watched The Bachelor? Is it Bachelor? Yeah, The Bachelor. I watched that Monday. Here's my thing, okay? Like, I did not grow up watching The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. It was something that was not on my radar at all. And I have a really hard time not fast forwarding certain parts. Like, I feel like it's so long. Like, it's 2 hours. Like, does it have to be 2 hours? But yet, like, I still continue to watch because I literally, like, I cannot stop watching it. I had that issue and I texted somebody today because I think when people, and correct me if I'm wrong, when people watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, they, like, guess from the beginning, like, episode 1, who the Bachelor or Bachelorette is going to be. Is that how it works? Like, I saw people on Instagram that were having like literally like little lists and they would check off people that got out. Like, if that is a thing, I kind of want to get on that bandwagon, even though it can be kind of tough to watch sometimes. So I've been watching a little bit of The Bachelor. Hate that, you know? Hate it. Okay. Have you ever been to Denver? My husband and I live in Montana. This summer, we are going to move either to Seattle or Denver. I've never been to Denver. I have never been to Denver either. It is on my list of places to go. Colorado in general would be beautiful. Gus has been there. He has nothing but good things to say about it. But I have not been to Denver. I feel like, and I don't know if this is right, I feel like they're similar. Maybe somebody that's from Denver can let me know. I hear that they're somewhat similar. you know any news on Bertha, that drill that they put underground? I don't know anything about that. I do remember it though. I just hate that they're even drilling. It's so like silly to me because we are just so close to having an earthquake. And to have like is it the largest drill in the world or one of the largest drills get stuck? It just is like, that was a really interesting thing and it was scary. So I don't know anything about Bertha and how that's going. Happy Friday Eve. What are some good places for live music in Seattle for cheap and no cover? Yeah. I really love the Crocodile. The Crocodile is probably my favorite venue. Numos is really fun too. And I mean, you got to get tickets, right, for these shows. But I like Numos because it's so intimate. Like, you're so close to the stage. I think I saw Kimbra at Numos. I've seen a couple people in Numos, and you're just so close to the artist, and it's really cool to see that. Same with the Crocodile. I think I saw Albert Hammond Jr. there, and that was like legit one of the best shows I've ever been to. You're just so close to the performers, and you get to see, you know, how good they are live. You can really appreciate people's talents when you're like in a very intimate setting. So those are probably my two favorite places to see live music. But KEXP also puts on a lot of KEXP. They put on a lot of live shows as well. But so does 107 The End. If you like follow them on Facebook or Instagram, they're always like inviting people to come watch little shows all over Seattle. Like, I think I saw like Barnes Courtney like a while ago, but it was like out of nowhere. Like, I didn't even know he was coming, and I had been waiting to see him, and he only performed like 3 songs, but it was really cool to literally just be like so close to him and like watch him do his thing because he's so talented. So that's really cool. If you stay like up to date on 107 The End, they do a lot of little shows like that. Do you have any input on the hockey team that's coming here in 2021-22 season? I don't know anything about sports, which is literally my bad. I just don't. I think I got asked this a while ago too, about hockey and maybe something about soccer, but I have no idea. I would like to get into hockey though. I feel like hockey would be really, really swell to get into. Mopop is my favorite. Mopop is so cool. And they always have like different exhibits there, which is really fun. By any chance, do you know about the electrical engineering field in Seattle? Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't know too much about it, but I feel like it's probably something a lot of people do here. I feel like Seattle in general is more of a techie and engineering like type of field. I feel like that's a very popular thing here. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know like too much information about that. Just popping in to say hello. Hello. Okay, let me scroll down. What do you think of the University of Washington shop in the area that's outside the mall area? What do you think of the University of Washington shop in the area that's outside the mall area? I don't know. Maybe if Aggie is still on, you can answer this. I did not go to the UW, and I am barely there. So I don't know too much about that shop. Okay. Hey, I'm tuning in. I'm just tuning in now. These are so small. Can I make these bigger? I wish I could make this bigger. Let me see if I can. Pop out chat. Participants, toggle, top chat. Okay. I can't make it bigger. Maybe, nope. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yes, I saw, okay. Literally lost. Okay, I'm just tuning in now. How long have you been on live? I have been on live for 24 minutes. I was planning on going for like 45 minutes to an hour today, just because I've been lax with the video uploads. I kind of wanted to do an hour. So if you guys are like into that, I will do an hour. Otherwise, I can cut out here at like 45 minutes, which leaves us like 20 more minutes. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I saw your road trip videos. He's traveling from Illinois. He's moving out there. That's so exciting. Tractor's pretty fun too. I've heard great things about Tractor. I've not been. Did you can take a tour of the King 5 News anchor building across from T-Mobile? I have not taken a tour of that. I wasn't even aware that you could. How cool. In regards to housing, you mentioned a more affordable place by Capitol Hill. What was the neighborhood called again? Yes, that neighborhood, there's probably a few of them. The one I'm thinking about is Central District area. Central District, I feel like that's a little bit more affordable. But it really depends. You can find places all over. Some, obviously, you have to live with more people, but I know some people that just got a really great deal on a 2-bedroom in Madison Park, which is such a beautiful area. So you just got to dig. The Facebook group is always a great place to look, as is Craigslist. Obviously, be careful. But Gus and I have found all of our places on either the Facebook group or Craigslist. You have to dig. And I feel like I did a video on this, but if you put the zip code in of where you want to live and you do like 2 miles from or 1 mile from, that will really narrow it down. Because it's really hard, especially on Craigslist when you're looking for a place, because you type in Seattle and everything comes up and you see places in Linwood, you see places in Renton, and those are far. They're not necessarily Seattle. So it's kind of bullshit that that's even allowed to be considered Seattle when it really isn't. So yeah, those places can be really difficult, but try to search through the zip code. Okay. Hey, good looking. Hey, looking great. Thank you. Thank you. You should hang out in Kirkland. It's nice. Kirkland is awesome. I'm always in Bellevue, but Kirkland, I'm not in too much, but Kirkland is beautiful. Thank you, Jamal. That's so nice of you. I appreciate that. Random question. Why do people tap their Orca card when they exit the station? I visited Seattle last month and it confused me. Yeah, really good question. Basically, an Orca card. If you get off the light rail or if you get off the bus, you tap it so you don't consistently get charged. Essentially, like, you can look at that as like a credit card. You load money on it, and if you get off on a stop, you want to get charged just for the amount you were riding. Because if you don't, you could possibly, and correct me if I'm wrong, you get charged more because maybe you're going a longer distance, and the card doesn't know that because you didn't like tap out. So essentially, you're like, hey, I'm just getting on. Hey, I'm just getting off. Just charge me for that amount of time, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I always viewed it. So if I'm wrong on that, like, somebody correct me, but that's what I think that means. Take a ferry ride to Bainbridge Island. You can do a little hiking, walking along the Sound, and get some great views of the city. That's such a good idea. I always forget about Bainbridge. Bainbridge is really cute. It's really nice over there. Go to Forks, Washington. I do need to go to Forks. Forks would be beautiful. It's 2 hours, but really it's 1 hour with an obscene amount of commercials. It's 2 hours, but really is that right? Is it really 1 hour and they drag it out to don't even? Is that a real thing? Wow. Hello. I just scrolled way too high. Wait, what? We're having an earthquake? Okay, so we're not having an earthquake, and I don't want to freak anybody out when I say that. But we're not that far from having some sort of natural disaster here. Thank you, next. We can't talk about it. Okay, we have a basketball team. We need a basketball team. Yes, we do. Say hi, Brazil. Hello, Brazil. I got excited when I learned a hockey team is coming to Seattle. That's awesome. I got to get into hockey. Hockey's like the cool thing to be into. Hey, Rachel, I'm just visiting Seattle for the first time in July. So excited. Was thinking about staying in West Seattle, but I'm not sure. West Seattle's cool. My issue, there's no issue with West Seattle. West Seattle's really cool. You have Alki. However, West Seattle is, like, to me, its own area. It's not like you can't walk. Well, you can. You don't want to really do, if you want to be downtown and close to the Space Needle or like a quick Uber ride, West Seattle isn't necessarily that. West Seattle is a little bit removed from Seattle. However, it's beautiful. It's really nice over there. I always feel like people that I see that DM me and they're like, where should I book my Airbnb? I always suggest somewhere on the water, like the Sound, Madison area is really beautiful. And then you're just like removed from the city, but then you can like quickly go to the city. Queen Anne is awesome. You know, I just feel like West Seattle is beautiful and it's cool. And if you want to just stick and stay in West Seattle, do it. But if you're really looking to get like a full Seattle experience, like day after day, I would go somewhere closer just so like Uber trips are cheaper and, you know, maybe you can like walk somewhere, but West Seattle is a little bit removed. What YouTube channels do you like to watch? Ooh, really good question. I watch a lot of YouTube channels. Every day I watch CNN, which is a disaster. I watch a lot of news. Like I get most of my news, not just CNN, but like CBS, all of it. Like I watch a lot of news on YouTube, which is so weird. Shane Dawson, obviously, like he's amazing. I love watching him. I really love Jordan Cheyenne. I really like her. I think she's really dope. Love Emma Chamberlain. I think she's like the funniest person on YouTube right now. Elle Mills is really good. She's just like a really good video content creator. Brett Conti is really nice. Who else? Megan Acuna. I can't remember her name. She's really great, and she just moved to Washington. So if you were like craving more Seattle-based videos, why can't I? Her last name's like blah. Like I'm just like I can't think of it. Megan's channel is really cool. I could talk about YouTube forever because Megan Acuna. I think that's how you say her last name, Acuna. So I did have it right. She's really dope. Who else? Yeah, sometimes I watch some travel vloggers, but I haven't really found like ones that I absolutely love. And just like a lot of music videos. I watch a lot of music videos on YouTube. Have you ever hung out with one of your followers? I feel like you're so down to earth and it's so refreshing. Oh my gosh, thank you, Chantel. That's so nice. All the friends I have here, the only friends I have here are all subscribers and followers. I feel like I get along with everybody, like everybody that I chat with and like DM, like we just all get along really well. So yeah, everybody, all the main friends I have here are subscribers and followers. So for sure, like absolutely. I used to get coffee with like more people. It's just been a little chaotic and I've gotten like more work at my full-time job. So I haven't really been able to like take the time to do that. But yeah, absolutely. Like everybody that I meet up with is so chill and so cool. And I'm like, we would all be like great friends. So thank you. That's so nice to hear. And like, I feel the same way about you guys as well. U Village is super nice, but apart from the U District, it's nothing great. I check out Green Lake or Wallingford for sure. Yes, Angie. Yes, okay. Angie, like literally, like she lives just like she is like Washington and she is Seattle. So she always is on here. And thank you so much just for like having people's backs because you always have great recommendations and I really appreciate it. If you ever move out of Seattle, where would you like to move next? I don't know, anywhere. I'm just like always curious and I'm always like feeling a pull to go places and check new places out, but maybe I just need to travel more. I don't really know if I need to live places. Gus and I are headed to Vancouver in a few weeks, so I'm very excited to check Vancouver out. But I mean, I want to check out other places too. I want to check out Austin. I do want to check out Denver. I want to check out Italy. I want to check out all these amazing places. But I think that's more just like the need to travel and the itch to travel versus like actually live there. Although I will say this, I have been like very curious on like what Minneapolis is like. So if you know, I'm from like Minnesota and like Wisconsin, but I never really lived in Minneapolis. And I don't know Minneapolis very well, but I've been very like curious to know what it's like. The only thing that's kind of stopping me is it is so close to like where I grew up, but also I know like so many people over there and like I don't know if I'm ready to just like I don't know. It's like it's hard to explain. It's like I feel like I like it out here because I don't know that many people and it's refreshing to like walk streets and not have the fear of like, oh my God, I'm gonna run into so and so from college or from high school. Like I like not having that fear. So that's the only thing that I don't want to really experience, but I am a little curious in Minneapolis, of Minneapolis, just a little bit. Okay, we're at 34 minutes. We're going to go for like another 10, 15 minutes or so. Being from Wisconsin, do you know anything about the beer scene in Washington compared to Wisconsin? Yeah, that's a really good question. There is a lot of beer here. Is there as much beer here as there is in Wisconsin? It doesn't feel like it. But also I will say this, and like no offense to Wisconsin because I love Wisconsin. There's also like just a little bit more to do here. So it doesn't feel like beer is the only option. Whereas in Wisconsin, like beer was like everything. Like drink, eat cheese, eat meat, and like whatever. Like that just felt like the huge thing there. So I feel like, in my humble opinion, I feel like Wisconsin has Washington beat when it comes to beer. However, there are a ton of breweries here, and they're really good. A lot of breweries, a lot of wineries, a lot of a lot of cider places. So I think they beat Wisconsin with the variety, but Wisconsin is just like, when I think of like beer capital, I think of Wisconsin, if that made sense. I was like rambling. Okay. Okay, I'm like losing track. Okay. You said something along the lines of dating being rough in Seattle. Was it just because you didn't find someone who's your type? Oh, for sure. I feel like this is gonna suck, but I just read an article on why dating, why having a love life in Seattle is like impossible, because everybody's kind of trying to do their own thing and work as hard as they can, and then people like to hibernate. So I don't think it's just me, but I do think it's harder to date here, just because I'm still trying to figure it out, if I'm being honest. I just feel like the selection, at least for me, isn't the kind of men I usually date. So honestly, it could totally be my issue. I do think that the weather sometimes can get people down a little bit and get people not out of their comfort zones and not out of their home. So I do feel like it is really hard to date here, but that again could just be it probably is my own issue. The popular YouTube channel Cut is based in Seattle, and they do videos where people guess different topics and have ever been since. Have you thought about reaching out since you are in the YouTube community? Yes, I love Cut. Cut is like, I don't know why I didn't mention them. I watch Cut every single day. I wake up and I watch a new video from them. I absolutely love Cut. I would love to work for Cut. Cut is like my dream job, just because they're doing so many great things, and starting so many great conversations. I love Cut. I have not really, I think I reached out to them quite a while ago when I like first discovered them, because I really wanted to be on a video so bad. I'm like, this would be like a bucket list thing. I would love to be on a Cut video, but I never heard back from them, so I just figured I should leave them alone. So I just left them alone. But yeah, Cut is dope. I love Cut. I love Cut so much. They have amazing videos. If you're into this, go into some of the famous gravities like Bruce Lee. Cool. Grave sites. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Thinking about moving up to Washington in the summer. What do you think about the Silverdale area? I am having the toughest time talking today, and I'm so sorry. I don't know much about it. I don't feel like it's very close to Seattle, but I hear good things about it. The only thing I know about Silverdale is when I first moved here, I dated this guy, and his ex was from Silverdale, and he hated Silverdale. He had nothing good to say about it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know anything about it. I'm sure it's a great place. And also, if you're moving here in the summer, that's literally going to be heaven. Like, the summers here are amazing. So anywhere you go is going to be so beautiful. Let's see. Is it true that most people use Metro transfers all day? A bus driver told me that. Do you ever do that? Metro, like buses? Yeah, I think people do a lot of things like that all day. I don't know if I think it's true. I drive, but I used to take the light rail all the time, every single day. That was a different life. Hi, I'm moving to Seattle in March. I'll be in Seattle downtown. When did you move to Seattle and how do you like it? I moved to Seattle. It is almost going to be 3 years. It'll be 3 years in June. Wow. I like Seattle. I like it. If you've been following me, a lot of people know that I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's good. It's bad. It's a little bit of everything. But I've made it my home for these past almost 3 years. So it feels like it's getting there, but it's taken a lot for me to really, I don't know, try to understand it and work with it. I think when I say that too, you have to understand that everybody is coming from a different place and a different situation. I was coming from a very, very small town. I never lived in a city, so it was just brand new to me. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And some people, they come to the city, they make loads of friends right away. They have the best job of their life. So some people absolutely love it here. It just depends on, how you take it and how your attitude is towards it. I think sometimes when I was having when I do have a hard time, I really blame it on Seattle, and that's totally not fair and it's not right. But I feel like I don't have anything else to blame it on, because if I blame it on myself, that's just going to suck. So sometimes I feel like I blame somebody ghosting me or me not getting a specific job opportunity on Seattle, and that's just totally not fair. So Seattle is like a great place. It's not for everybody, but it has its ups and downs for sure, as does any city. That was also a ramble. Okay. The aquarium in Seattle is awesome to go see. Yeah. Will you do another collaboration with Monica Church or another YouTuber? I'm not really doing any more collaborations at the moment. Monica's awesome and super great. I haven't really, I haven't talked to her in a minute. Her videos are so great though, and I love what she does. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more collaborations anytime soon. I'm just kind of trying to focus on kind of like what my next step is. It's kind of hard because I feel like sometimes I'm so stuck. Like I don't always want to do Seattle content, but also you guys are here for the Seattle content, and you guys, a lot of you are moving here, and I almost feel like slightly obligated to give you guys information that you need. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure my shit out before I kind of reach out, collaborate with other people that already have their shit figured out. So I'm just kind of taking it day by day, but really good question. Let's see. Hey, Aaron. I grew up in a suburban Denver years ago. I lived downtown for a year, 2006 to 2007, moved back to Florida. Denver is a little like Seattle and Portland. Cool. Yeah, I've heard that it's very similar. I need to check it out. Hey, Rachel, I moved to Seattle last year, and I just wanted to say that you really helped with being open about your journey. I've definitely felt the same before. Oh my gosh, thank you, Sammy. That's like so sweet of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Chris Pratt, you know that actor. What can you tell us about Lake Stevens, Washington? I can't. I don't know much about it. Also, do you think it's a good idea to take my car through the ferry with more than 5 people in the car, or would we get in trouble? My question is, can you only have 4 people when you go to the ferry in the car? Or can you have more? I always just figured if it was a car, you could have it like filled with as many people that could fit. But I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if that's actually like a thing. Good question. I'm so sorry. I don't know the answer to that. Okay, we're at 43 minutes. Answer some more questions. Okay, I didn't realize we were still, we still have some questions. I was born and raised in Minneapolis. It's actually pretty similar to Seattle. Great culture, good, cute neighborhoods and parks. Trails are amazing and so much cheaper than here. Oh my gosh, cool. I know. I was kind of like curious. I knew it was cheaper than Minneapolis, but I feel like I wasn't 100% sure just because it's still a city. It's one of the biggest over there, like in the Midwest area, I feel like. So that's very interesting to know. Cool. We got some more people from Minneapolis. Love your vids. Thank you. Which Vancouver? There's also Vancouver, Washington. I'm going to Vancouver in Canada. Do you think it's a better choice to come to Seattle with a job lined up or job search from up there? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. So, let's see. Gus and I, well, Gus started looking for a job. Gus graduated before I did. So he started looking for a job the minute he graduated. I, however, graduated after him. And after that, we moved right away, I think within like a couple weeks. So I ended up finding a job when I got here. He didn't have a job either, but ended up getting a job when he got here as well, which is why I say you should always come here with as much money as you can, save as much as you can, and then get a job when you get here. And also, I feel like don't settle. Sorry, not don't settle. Don't be so set on getting a job in your field right away. Like if you want to live out here and you're just like, I just want to be out here, I don't really care what my job is, just get a job. There's so many jobs in the service industry, like in food and restaurants. We have some great bars and great restaurants here, and tourism stuff. There's some great things you can get into in real estate, and you don't necessarily. I just felt so much pressure to get a job in my field, as did Gus, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not putting that pressure on myself. I'm going to get a job in something else that I kind of want to discover, and that was makeup. I really wanted to check out makeup and try it out because it was something that wasn't available in my hometown. And it was something that I just never had the opportunity to do and like try. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna apply to Mac, maybe get it. And then I got it, and it was like the best and worst experience ever. So I just feel like you can get a job out here because there's so many. So don't be heartbroken if you don't get a job and then you're like, well, I still really want to move out there, because you can just have enough money and like you know what makes you feel comfortable. So make sure that you can support yourself. And yeah, I feel like it's easier to get a job when you're here. One thing I will say, and I feel like I've said this in a lot of videos, if you are applying from like Colorado and you are eventually going to move to Seattle, make sure on your application you put relocating to Seattle, because a lot of people don't look at applications that don't say Seattle just because it's so much cheaper for them to hire somebody that's already in the state. They don't have to worry about moving costs if the person, requires that, things like that. So make sure on your application, because a lot of applications go through like word generators and stuff like that, depending on the company. Make sure that your resume says Seattle on it, like willing to relocate or relocating to Seattle or will be in Seattle in October, things like that, just so the company knows that you are eventually going to be here, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go for like 10 more minutes. That will be like an hour, and then I'll probably have to shut it off because I have a lot more work to do tonight. Woodinville is wine. Yes, it is a wine country. Hey, I'm moving to Seattle from Minnesota at the end of February, and I'm driving. Do you think it will be safe in winter conditions? I'm kind of scared. Ooh, super good question. That's a really good question because you're driving through most of the Midwest. I feel like it'll be fine, and the only reason I'm going to say it's going to be fine is because the trip over here, besides Idaho, which I don't know if Idaho has snow in February. I want to say no. But it's so flat. The whole drive here until we got to Idaho was just flat. So I feel like you'd be fine. Maybe plan for a few extra days, go slow. But yeah, I feel like you should be okay. Idaho would be the only thing I'd be concerned about, and I'm not sure if they have snow in February. So check that out because that was for sure windy and hilly. Like, oh God, I remember when we drove through that, there was one point where it was like sunset and I could barely see anything. Like it was just like, you know, really bright, but also really dark, and just like the contrast was really hard, and it was like windy, and I really should not have drove that because that was really scary. But if you're doing it during the day, you should be fine. But definitely I would do some research on that. Have you met anyone from University of Washington in Seattle? Yeah, I've met a few people. Yeah, I've met a few people that go there. Some great people. Have you been to any parties there? If so, what are they like? I have not. Nobody's invited me to any UW campus parties. I want to go to one so bad. You know, maybe it's like I'm too old now and I can't go. Like I'm not in college. I'm not like the cool kid in college, so I'm not like invited. But I would love to go to like a UW rager or something. Like that would be, you know, I'd have to make a vlog out of that. That'd be so much fun. How much do studio apartments cost? It depends. If you're looking like in Capitol Hill, which is, you know, I feel like the place that people most want to be, I feel like a studio can range from like $1,200 to $1,300 and up. Oh, I thought I heard Gus. Yeah, I would say like $1,200, $1,300 and up for a studio. I knew somebody who lived in Central District in like a brand new studio with like one of the beds that flip down and then you flip it up and it's a wall. Those really cool things. And I think he was paying around $1,300, $1,400 for that. And it was really nice. So I would say like maybe around that. And I'm sure like you could find cheaper places as well. But I feel like about $1,200 to $1,400 for a studio. And what's your opinion for a 20-year-old moving by themselves? My advice is be careful always. But if it's something you want to do, I'd say do it. Just be careful. Yeah, be careful and know that you can support yourself. And if this is like your place that you really want to be, you can obviously do anything you want. Just make sure that you can support yourself and you feel financially stable and you feel emotionally stable to do that. Because I think in general, moving alone is a really difficult thing. I had a friend move, the minute he graduated, he moved to LA. And I always ask him how he did it because it would be really hard to do that. Like for me, I'd be really hard to move by myself for the first time at that age. But if it's the place you want to be, if it's, you know, the place that's calling you, I feel like you should do it. Just be safe. Make sure you have, you know, you're financially stable and emotionally stable. And yeah, I think that's good advice. Have you ever been to the Alderwood Mall in Midwood? Yes. In my experience, studios are about $1,200 for a central location. I just moved into a room in a house for $900 quarters, in utilities plus utilities dollars. Cool. Yeah, $900. Okay, that sounds about right. Have you ever been to Bellingham? If so, what do you think of it? I have not, but Gus has, and he has nothing but amazing things to say. He says the coffee there is like so much better, and it's really beautiful. So I would love to go to Bellingham. Okay, we have about 7 minutes. Would you want to raise a family in Seattle? Yeah, absolutely I would. The perks of doing that, I feel like obviously you're in a city and it's a little bit scarier, but your kids have so many opportunities, right? Like when you live in a city, you don't realize how many opportunities your kids have. Now with that obviously becomes the safety issue as well. But you know, in this day and age, it can be unsafe anywhere. Like I look at the Jamie Kloss, for example, that whole situation. Like I grew up very close to where that whole incident happened. And you think of Wisconsin as being like just safe. Like it's safe. There's nothing terrible going on there, but there's terrible things going on everywhere. And I feel like a lot of people are like, well, Seattle's not safe. Seattle's not safe to move to. if you have a family. And I just don't think that's true. I think that there's a lot of great opportunities here. There's a lot of great culture here. There's a lot of great food here that you don't get everywhere. So I think it'd be an amazing place to raise a family. Any suggestions for how to make friends out here? I'm thinking of joining a book club, but I'm getting lonely and feel weird using Meetup. I miss having friends to grab meals with. Isn't that the fucking truth? Like, I always feel like I'm so blessed and lucky that I had Gus, because it would be really hard to be out here solo and not really know how to make friends and how to start friends. Meetup is great. I've heard great things about Bumble BFF. I've done Bumble BFF. I've made a few friends from there. I've actually made a few friends from like working at Mac, not necessarily coworkers, but just clients I had, along with social media. Like that's whenever I feel so like not relatable when I talk about this, but I mean, maybe I am relatable, but I made a lot of friends through Instagram and a lot of friends through YouTube, just from chatting with people in the comments or DMing people like, let's grab coffee. So obviously be safe with that and make sure you're talking to like an actual human. But yeah, that's kind of how I made friends. I'm so sorry. Like I know how shitty that feels and how hard it can be, but just know that even though it's hard, like you are growing stronger as an individual and you are learning more about yourself and if this is the right place for you, all that. So don't think of it as like a hard thing to, like a really difficult thing to do, but it's just a stepping stone to where you're supposed to be. So good luck. I would definitely try doing meetups. If you're on social media, try some social media things. I need to do a meetup just with all of you guys very soon because we all need to meet. And I feel like the people that are on this chat and the people that DM me all the time, we could all be great friends and we could all make a friend from a meetup. So that is something we need to do. Okay, we have about 4 minutes. Hi, Rachel. I'm from the Bay Area. Awesome. And I want to attend Seattle University for nursing school. I need advice on adjusting with the environment, and also is Seattle diverse compared to the Bay? Yeah, I did a semester in the Bay. The Bay is beautiful. I did a semester in Monterey Bay, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, although I will say Seattle in general is for sure more diverse. It's a great area, and we do have some really good nursing schools up here. So yeah, I feel like it's great. The environment's awesome. I feel like it's similar, even though it's different. The Bay Area is pretty foggy, at least from what I can remember. It gets really like, it can get very foggy here as well, and very damp. And you're obviously very close to the ocean. So I feel like temperature-wise, it's similar, although our winters are a little bit colder. I feel like we're more in like the 30s and 40s, and the winters were not too bad in Monterey Bay at least. So yeah, I feel like that's probably my take on that. But Monterey Bay is beautiful, and I hope that if you do come here, I hope that you love it because Seattle is very, very cool. Schools are really good in Seattle. Microsoft, Amazon are really, yes. Oh my gosh, good luck driving to Seattle today/tomorrow. Good luck. Drive safe. Okay, guys. So that is about all the time I have. I've been here for already an hour. That was insane. The time just flies. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys like lives. I don't do them as much as I used to because I don't know if me answering questions helps or any of that. So just if you give me a thumbs up, it lets me know that I should keep doing these. And also if you like that I go for an hour long, like today I went for an hour, please give this video a thumbs up. Sometimes I feel like I should just go for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But it just depends. I try to answer most of you guys' questions. I'm not going to lie though, I've been pretty lax with social media. I've been trying to take like just a small break from it, and stuff like that. If you want to get in touch with me like more in depth, if you have more questions that I can answer, definitely go to my Instagram. I feel like I try to answer as much DMs as I can. It's just rachel.waldorf. If you have any more specific questions, I can answer them there. Or if you have questions about anything. I do want to say a couple things just before I go. I am working on another project, and I posted a question on my Instagram today on what it means to be a woman to you. So if you can go over and head to my Instagram and just fill out that question, whether you are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But what it means to be a woman to you, that would mean so much to me. I'm working on a video, and your input would be so helpful, and I feel like I can incorporate some of your answers into my video. So please go to my Instagram and please fill that out, because I feel like we're a great community, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, or however you identify, and I really want to see what your answers are. So anyways, guys, I just want to say thank you so much, and I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys asking questions and you guys being very polite in the comments. I feel like I didn't have to block anybody, and that's amazing, so thank you. I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday night. I will see you next week early, hopefully. And yeah, anyways, guys, have a great night, have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and I will see you very soon. Okay, bye.